I remember back in the day when I was in like my late teens when the Beats brand Beats headphones were just like the coolest thing you could possibly have in the world of audio. Even if they didn't always sound the best, that was the brand. That's what you wanted to have. Nowadays, Beats is not nearly as popular, and honestly, I've had no desire to own a set of Beats anything for probably well over a decade at this point. However, something rather strange happened the other day. We actually came across a set of earbuds for a ridiculously low price. No, we did not steal them. Nothing shady about this at all. Just sort of a clearance sale. Something honestly, I think that something had been like misplaced and lost and then turned up, and they just wanted to get rid of them. So we were lucky enough to benefit from that. So what I have here are the Beats Studio Buds. And I've been using them for the last several days, and I've definitely got some thoughts on these things. Let's quickly first, though, take a look at the hardware, and then we'll jump into some deeper impressions. So the first thing I noticed whenever I opened up the box that gave me kind of pause for concern is the size of that case. Here are my Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pros, okay? I don't think I need to tell you. Those are some big earbuds. This case is really, really large. And now the box says 16 hours with ANC off from the case, which, I mean, that's not like a crazy amount either. So I'm just wondering, why is this case so big if it's not, housing a gargantuan battery? We'll come back around to some more of that stuff a bit later. USB-C port on the bottom, of course, your iconic Beats logo there. And then here are the buds themselves. And I actually think that they do look okay. I will show you what they look like actually in my ear because they stick out a bit further than I would like. But I like this little area here that makes them very easy to grip. This is something I harp on all the time. The ease of actually getting them out of the case and into my ears. Well, you know what? Beats, Apple, you've done a good thing here. This is very, very easy to get out and to put into your ear. And as you can hear, the magnet is pretty strong. It does grip in there very, very well. These things are not going to be falling out at all. The build quality seems absolutely fine. But now let's take a look at actually putting them in. What do they look like? And then most importantly, how do they sound? How do they function? So when you put them in, like I said, pretty easy to actually put in the ear. I think you can see here that they do, in fact, they stick out pretty far. I'm actually going to try and turn off ANC because that is on so I can hear myself talk a little bit. It made a noise. I don't know that ANC's... No, that can't be ANC. Let's try this again. Okay, ANC appears to be on now. I can definitely hear a little bit better. Okay, so I like the look of them, but not so much when they're in because they stick out really far. But, maybe you're somebody that really likes the Beats branding and people are going to see that B in your ear and you think that's cool. And if that's the case for you, then so be it. Once I started using them, though, I immediately ran into some problems. And the problems are with the controls. You're supposed to be able to tap to play pause, double tap to skip, and triple tap to skip back, long press to toggle through your ANC modes. Okay, I have to interrupt the video here because I made a mistake in the original review. You can actually see the original in the description down below, but I have to amend this portion. In the original review, I complained pretty heavily that the controls, where you're tapping each side of your earbuds, was really not working well at all for me. And that is because I had overlooked the fact that it is not like a standard earbud. It is not a capacitive thing where you're tapping it. You actually have to press just a little bit harder. And I need to point out these two people, Jacqueline and Domenica's sound system, both pointed this out. If it hadn't have, I would not have known this. So like I said, I have to amend this part of the review. Let's actually really quickly take a look here on the overhead camera and I can show you what I mean here. Do you see this little gap right there in the middle? It doesn't appear to be where the Beats logo is. It actually appears to be up here. But if I get really closely, maybe we can see this. Can you see when I press that it goes in just a little bit? Okay, so it doesn't require a lot of effort, a lot of pressure, which is why sometimes it was working and sometimes it wasn't. So with that being now understood properly, again, shout out to those commenters for helping me understand this a bit better. The controls are not nearly as big of a problem as I thought that they were. They're actually probably totally fine now. What about with the ANC and the pass-through mode? So pass-through is on right now, but honestly, it's not that impressive. I have a whole bunch of earbuds from a company called Soundpeats who make very inexpensive earbuds, some of which are $50, $60 and cheaper, and the pass-through mode is way stronger, is how I should word it, on those buds than it is on these, and they absolutely do not compare to something like Samsung or Sony. They're just not nearly strong enough in terms of the pass-through. It's there, but it's not that impressive. And if I move over to ANC by long pressing and holding, the ANC is a little bit better. I mean, that's not really saying much because, I mean, I'll give you a good example about the pass-through. A lot of the time when I'm reviewing earbuds, I will keep them in and I'll film a bit, I'll talk, and I'll stop and I'll edit what I have to kind of help me gather my thoughts. And a lot of the time, typically, I just throw them in pass-through and leave them on to edit with them on. With these, I had to take them out because I couldn't hear myself through my computer speakers. It was still not enough to be able to properly hear myself talk. So that's not great. So when I say the ANC is better, I'm not saying that they're fantastic. They're solid, right? They're like, what, like a 6 out of 10. They're okay. What about the audio quality? I'm actually going to take them out because even with ANC turned on, I feel like I'm shouting because I'm just not hearing myself very well at all. And while we talk about the sound quality, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the Amazon listing here so you can see the price and maybe see some details on them as well as I kind of scroll down through here. The sound quality is okay. They do not blow me away. They're not incredible sounding earbuds. I listened to several different songs. This is kind of the way I test earbuds. Is I'll have two phones and I'll have my Samsung Galaxy Buds, which are the like cream of the crop for me. Put them in, play a bit of the song, take them out, pop these in, and they're paired to another phone, listen to the same bit, and then take notes. And generally speaking, they are considerably less detailed in terms of their sound than what you get from Samsung. The biggest thing for me is they just lack punch. They're just very safe. They're very basic. They just don't have that crisp punchiness that I am looking for, right? And, you know, they have an app, but the app is pretty bone stock. You really can't, you know, there's no equalizer to go in and mess with things and tweak things to your liking, at least not that I was able to see. So the sound quality is really just, it's okay. But then when I think about the fact that you've got earbuds like the Sony LinkBuds S for the same price, that trust me when I tell you the ANC is better, the pass-through's better, the controls are better, and the sound is considerably better, I'm just left wondering, why would you buy these? These are, I promise you, these are worse in every conceivable way to the LinkBuds. And if you compare them to these guys, they're not even in the same spectrum. They're not even in the same ballpark as these. I actually pulled out some of my like $60 SoundPeats earbuds, and I will tell you, they do sound better than them. I will give them that. They do sound better than a budget set of earbuds, but they are not in the same premium class as Sony, as Samsung, even though they're, I mean, $150, that's not super inexpensive. And again, you can get better buds for that price. I know these used to be $200, but they're not anymore. You can get them at this price pretty consistently now. I would buy those any day of the week instead. And then you factor in how enormous that case is, which look, it's like a little over 600 milliamp hours. This is, I think, 500, so it is a bigger battery, but the battery life you're gaining from having a case this big that's going to be in your pocket, that's going to be just this massive thing in your pocket, is just not worth it to me. The case should not be that big. It's a little silly. Even next to the LinkBuds, which are a bigger case than, you know, my Samsungs, that's still just a massive case. So guys, there you go. I'm honestly pretty underwhelmed with these things. First experience with Beats earbuds in a long time, and I'd heard some good things, but I just don't see it. I don't understand. I don't think the ANC or pass-through are very good. I don't think the controls are any good at all, and I think that the sound can be beaten by other earbuds for the same price. So there you go. These will probably go into my big bag of earbuds that will await an opportunity to be gifted to someone after a thorough cleaning. Don't worry. They'll be gifted to somebody down the line who will maybe enjoy them more than I will. I will continue with my Samsungs and my Sonys. When I'm using my Samsung phone, it's these guys. Any other phone for review, it's these guys. And these Beats earbuds have not changed that. In fact, I didn't even really get all that close. If you're new here, subscribe before you go so you don't miss any more content just like that. And until next time, guys, stay nerdy, my friends.